So, this is about what a Thai classical dance professor experienced when she was invited to perform in a neighboring country. She's 47 now, but the incident happened about 20 years ago. Back then, she was already well known, often getting invited to perform both locally and abroad, showcasing Thai traditional arts. One of her big moments was performing in Germany at an event where artists from around the world presented their cultural traditions. She performed a Thai classical dance which consists of slow, intricate steps following ancient patterns to music. As expected, she received praise, especially from representatives of her neighboring country, Cambodia, also famous for their beautiful traditional arts. They exchanged contacts, and a little later, she received an email inviting her to Cambodia to perform a ritual dance. For context, Thai dance isn't like modern dance, where you can just dance whenever you feel like it. It's sacred, highly respected, and often tied to religious ceremonies or blessings for success. So unlike our silly little dance in the shower, we can't just perform Thai dance when we like it, as it's disrespectful. When the Cambodian side asked her to perform a worship ritual, she hesitated. Traveling abroad was riskier back then, and she worried about her team's safety. To avoid going, she set the price very high of 120,000 baht, a huge sum at the time. To her shock, they agreed, even when she asked to bring not just her team of 4 dancers, but 22 people total, including family and friends. They still agreed. This made her grow even more suspicious. When she pressed them, they admitted their business was successful, but it's on the gray side of the business, and that they owed everything they have to the entity they worshipped. To repay it, they had to offer ritual dances. From the footage in Germany, they believed she was the perfect one to lead it. So, bish, bash, bosh, they agreed to go. When they arrived, things felt off immediately. None of the Cambodian representatives from Germany showed up. Instead, a new man greeted them warmly, providing buses with comfy seats, dining areas, even toilets, to take them on a 4-hour ride to an old, abandoned castle. Workers there were preparing the grounds with flowers and lights for the ritual. The professor and her team began practicing, but something strange happened. Sacred objects they had brought from Thailand, the Po Kai head, a hermit mask revered in Thai dance, and even the head of Phra Pikanet, Lord Ganesha, started moving on their own, shaking violently. Left, right, left, right. People whispered in shock. The professor prayed for protection, but the shaking grew worse. Now this was a bad omen. She wanted to back out, but others convinced her to stay. Later, the man who hired them asked her to switch costumes into something he provided. Old, yet eerily beautiful, Absorn-style costumes with tall headdresses, They all fit perfectly, as if tailored for each dancer. By then, the professor was uneasy. Even the accommodation, which was in an old house with failing power, kept her on edge. Then the day of the ritual came, but the ritual was suddenly postponed from 11:04 a.m. to 11:13 p.m. The professor had enough and tried to quit. The man doubled her pay to 250,000 baht and even brought in armed soldiers to ensure safety. Against her instincts, the crew agreed to go ahead since they were already there. Might as well finish the job. The night of the ritual was horrifying. Instead of golden flower trays, the shaman handed them black trays filled with burnt rice and wilted black flowers. The song used was supposed to be a traditional Thai song, but then the shaman suddenly changed the song. The music wasn't your typical traditional melody. The song was kinda like the Ratri dance from this horror game called Home Sweet Home, too, but it also had sounds of people wailing and shrieking. The crew used the same steps that they've practiced and started dancing to the strange melody. Just 13 sets, the professor tells the crew. They just had to finish 13 sets of the dance, and they would finally be done. Right from the start of the performance, it just felt wrong. Their bodies grew unbearably heavy, as if invisible hands were dragging their feet into the ground. They felt pinches, cramps, something forcing them to move in a certain manner, like a puppet. By the 8th set, people appeared out of nowhere, clapping. At that time, the professor felt sick, on the verge of vomiting as she heard those figures arguing violently. Some were shouting, "I want this one." Others were shouting, "No, I chose her first." Finally, in the 13th set, the dancers bowed low, foreheads tilted and pressed to the floor in a submissive manner. Just when their heads touched the floor, there was a loud bang echoing through the castle. Half the lights exploded, plunging the place into darkness. Shocked but too exhausted to even move, the professor's crew had to carry Evie.